Hello everybody, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. Let me get myself situated. And I'm going to talk about my February plans. Some of my February plans. So this is a junk journal video rather than a slow stitch video. I think we talked about the slow stitch. Let's see if I can grab it. We're going to do a page a month in this soft fabric journal. That's one of the slow stitch things, and we're going to make like folksy Valentine's things that are going to be quick to whip up in the future, and then we'll start on spring things. We'll keep it seasonal. I like to keep things seasonal actually, it kind of helps. This is the giveaway box full of Vintage Button goodness. Some things are handmade, some things have been found out in the wild. There's antique bits, there's vintage bits, there's things made by me in here. Stay tuned, see how you can enter to win that. So this is my big journal for February, and the way I'm going to handle this, I learned a lesson with the journal, let me get it, with that one, about batching things and not having to do everything and think, oh, I didn't film that, and enjoy the process. So I'm going to do more of that because that does my mental health good, and that's the whole point. She said, as there was a craft tsunami of stuff at the side of me. That's the whole point of this, is for me to improve my mental health, to encourage you to improve your well-being and your mental health. Lots of things that I talk about. Sustainability and well-being are my main focuses on my craft. So let's put the Vintage Button banner to one side. I turned 50 in December, and I think I've said this before, I'm getting increasingly, as I age, getting more and more nostalgic, and this is my favourite TV programme of all time, Bagpuss. So Bagpuss was started in the 70s, and I actually don't think they made very many series. I think that it was very 70s centric, but it was on British TV for a long time, and it was literally my favourite children's programme when I was small. And I just wanted to do something that was Bagpuss themed this year. So this is a birthday treat to myself. I went and I bought a second-hand Bagpuss book. I couldn't find anything that was sort of from the 70s. I don't know if they had that presence of mind to do that back then. Don't think so. So I got something that's from the early noughties, and it's a crafting book. And I don't mind chopping it up because these are penny. I mean, I don't mind chopping a book up anyway, because I think I've mentioned in other videos, but I got into junk journaling during the pandemic when you couldn't get hold of stuff, and also during that time I saw things on Facebook we were too frightened to go to. One house that had an entire library, it was like quite a large house, and they just put everything in the skip and it went to landfill, which is heartbreaking. And then I worked in a nursing home that the resources hadn't been well looked after, and we threw at least one skip load of books away. I did manage to rescue some, and that's all the beginning of my junk journaling journey. So I do true junk, so I do use new crafting supplies. I'll use printables, I'll use stamps, but I don't buy things like stickers and single-use craft items. That's just my boundaries. I'm not expecting anybody else to follow that. But all that to say, this used to be a large book. It was like that big, and I didn't want it to be that big. In fact, I'm a little bit concerned that this is big enough, really, that this will be one of the largest books that I've done. So I chopped the top off, just got a scalpel and a ruler. I just chopped it off. I don't know what I'll do with that, but it's going to go in my scrap pile at the side of me. So I'm left with this. Now, if you'll actually bring that back, this is very shiny, this is somewhat shiny. I did my sandpaper trick and sort of distressed it and softened it, and it actually feels really nice now. It's kind of got almost like suede kind of feeling. It's got a nice feel. And because the edges are quite raw and actually quite sharp, this edge here in particular is quite sharp, I overlaid it with some vintage dictionary paper along the top, and then I just did the little corners as well, and I may well at the very end go in with a bit of gold paint around there. So I gutted this book, and there were some exciting things actually for later on in the year that are slow stitch. There were some slow stitch projects, and I'm not going to do exactly what they did, but I'm going to do some of it. So we'll talk about that first, and I can put it to one side. So there is a lady, she's not a lady, she's a rag doll called Marmalade. Not Marmalade, Madeleine. You know, like French Madeleines. So I thought, oh, we could make a Madeleine, or a Madeleine-esque. So that's that. And then there's little mice, because there's these mice that live in the mouse organ. And then there's a Bagpuss. There's things that we can make. So I've kind of saved those bits because they've got loose instructions. Nothing's very original. It's like, oh, I've seen that in lots of books, you know, like kind of. So we can do something inspired by that. I've decided we will have a floating spine in this book, because I don't quite know what I want to do with the spine. So the spine, originally, if I get that other one back, originally that's how wide the book is. And so what I did when I gutted the book is I've just sort of compressed the spine so it opens up and it's quite wide. It's wide enough for a couple of signatures. So I've decided, I think we're going to do a floating spine. Now I did a floating spine in the Junk Journal January, I always see Junk Journal July, and I did a floating spine for a prop that my teenager used to go to a Comic-Con in the autumn. So I've not really made very many floating spines, but they seem quite effective and actually quite easy to do. I don't know if this is wide enough. It should be, because Fabri-Tac, I'm going to stick it down with Collall, which is like the European Fabri-Tac. And I've chosen this yellow with little bits of green because I thought that went. It's even, because it used to be a library book from Derbyshire. So Derbyshire County Council, improving life for local people. Let's hope they still are. I'm sure they are. Derbyshire is a very beautiful, beautiful part of the world. The Peak District is stunning. It's very, very beautiful. So I've got images of rolling hills and Mr. Darcy in my head. So this is just what was on the front, and also there was a sticker in it, and I thought, well, I'll cut the sticker out, and it feels right that I use these in this book. But I've forgotten about these types of things. We can make this situation and use that as inspiration for pockets and stuff. So anyway, there's that. And then I've started to take things out of the book, and I kind of want to, because it's so big and the images are amazing. So that's Madeleine, and then that is Professor Yaffle. I don't know what kind of bird he is, but he's wooden and he's very wise, and I love him. So that's Gabriel on the banjo. He plays folk music because it's very, very 1970s. It's kind of got a Victorian feel to it, and that's some of the mice from the mice organ, and they sing about fixing things, and Professor Yaffle tells them what to do. So I'll show you Mr. Bagpuss himself at some point. So I've got like the end papers. I'm not sure how I'm going to use those. I've just got stuff out of this book. There's Madeleine. Isn't she pretty? So we could definitely do something like that because it's very simple. Oh, Bagpuss, dear Catpuss. There's a little rhyme. Oh, here it is. So there's the premise is that there's this shop, and there's a little girl called Emily who takes things to this shop, and this shop mends things rather than sells it. It mends toys, and she would say these magic words to wake up Bagpuss. Bagpuss, dear Bagpuss, old furry catpuss, wake up and look at this thing I bring. Wake up, be bright, be golden and light. Bagpuss, oh, hear what I sing. Oh, I tell you, core memories. Core memories. So we've got more of the mice from the mice organ. That's the outside of the little shop, which apparently was filmed in a house, and this was the lounge window. They had to change it into a shop. It was very low budget. And there's Bagpuss. Bagpuss is pink and kind of cream. He's black and white there, but he is a pink cat. There we go. He's not like that colour. Actually, that's a bit bright, really. There he is. There's a knitting pattern. I'm not very good at knitting, so we're not going to attempt that. Sugar Mice. It's an activity book rather than an actual storybook. Making a beanbag Gabriel. We might make a slow stitch Gabriel. Not out of felt though. I've got some like green material. That's the mouse organ. And they all sort of come out of it and sing. There's the mice. And there's Bagpuss. That's what Bagpuss looks like. Oh, so lovely. I love Bagpuss. Look, they're lovely. Kind of really 1970-esque. So there's lots of fun things. It's going to be a fun journal. I'm going to use these like tip-ins, and I've got these signatures, but I had to try and find the biggest paper that I've got. See if I can unearth it. So I've got this, which is a segment of a book that I bought in an antiques place for £1.50, and it had like about 20 pages, and I'll see we've not got that many left now. That's about the local area, so it's kind of like about Suffolk and Norfolk, Ely, which is in Cambridgeshire actually, but yeah, there's Bury St Edmunds, which is in Suffolk, and Peterborough, oh, even Lincoln. So yeah, it's kind of lovely thick paper that's quite strong, so it's old, but it's not brittle. So I've made some pages out of that just by kind of cutting it down. I've also got like, that's a music book cover. So I feel, because the premise of the book is that this is supposed to be in the Victorian times, so it's got this lovely blend, and there was in the 70s this blend of like Victoriana and folksy kind of stuff. So I feel that you can mix that up with the bright colours. Anyway, that's what I'm going to try. So those are some of the bits out of there, and then this is another. That's from a big art folio type book. It's more, see, like Ramsey, that's a village. I'm looking at all the places in the book. So I've done some where they could be upside down, because I'm going to trim that and make it into like a banner. Yeah, so there's just two signatures, and again, I don't know how, you know, I'm just going to go with it. Sometimes I'll switch the camera on when I've had an idea for doing something, or I want to just do a page, and then other times I'm just going to play around with it and free myself, which I think I need to do. For things to be sustainable, they have to sort of be energizing, so this is kind of one of the ways I want to keep my energy up. So there's that, and then I don't have anything else to show you, but I have, just like I said in the other video, I've just agreed to be on a design team. It's the first time I've ever done that, so I'm going to finally be using my printer for like a whole kit at once. And I think it'll be very much, this is stuff that I've used to print out and to encourage you, because that's the whole point of a design team. I kind of am helping the lady with the other people on the team, you know, in her process, just giving feedback and stuff and encouragement, but then also making products using her product to encourage people to buy it. So it'll be kind of like that. I feel really good about, because it's an artist who has used her digital know-how to create a product that can travel all around the world and not cost the earth, and you don't have to worry about, you know, how the people who have made the products have been treated and all the things that if you worry about those things, you'll already be very aware of them. So I feel really good about doing that, and I think it's one video a month. And I was looking at some of her stuff this morning. I've ordered. She's given me one kit where we're going to make an envelope folio, because I wanted to do that, and that will be a process video that will take a certain amount of time, and it's a very easy entry-level junk journal. And I've not made one for years, and I was thinking before this, I was like, oh, I should do a folio one and make it spring themed, and this is very garden and springy. And then she's showed me one she was developing today, and it's all sailing boat stuff, and I've got a couple of old books that I got from the wild that I've wanted to do a sort of sailing themed book, and now I have the perfect opportunity to do it, or the perfect excuse. In fact, I've got 2 books to do with that. So there we go. That's my plans. Very rough. Not very, I mean, February's not very long, and this may go further into another time. It may go into March, it may not. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to bind it until it's all done. I don't know. I don't know. But there will be some, I want to do some sort of technical videos as well. I want to do sort of like my essential kit list, because I think it can be overwhelming, and I think I've said before about I don't want to encourage people to overconsume, and I think you actually don't need that much stuff to get going with junk journaling. And for slow stitching, indeed, I'll do 2 videos, one for junk journaling, one for slow stitching. You don't need that much. And most things you can find in your recycling bin in your home, or somebody else's recycling bin. Yeah, it doesn't need to cost anything really. So there we go. That's some of my plans. Now, if you want to win this Amazeballs box of vintage button goodness, and I will be doing more of these. I've kind of got a series of these little boxes, because I figure they won't cost me a fortune to send to, you know, out to Mongolia if I needed to. But it's still full of stuff. It's like got a lot of stuff in it. So, yeah, if you want to win this, be subscribed to the channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. In the comment, tell me what you're working on, tell me something interesting, and let me know where you shared it to. And then you'll be entered, and it is an amazing bunch of like antique stuff, vintage stuff, blank journals for you to fill in. There's 2 different types. There's bundles of bits and pieces that's decorated nice. There's slow stitch things. There's junk journal stuff. There's a lot going on in here. So yeah, I really enjoyed putting it together, and I think I'll continue to enjoy putting things like that together. That might even be a product that I do. In fact, I'm thinking at Christmas about doing a Christmas stocking where you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of things, but you're not going to know what they look like, and they're going to be wrapped up, so you can buy yourself a present and you don't know what it is. I like that idea. I'd like that idea for myself, but there you go. Right then, I am finally going to go. I will talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be slow stitching, so there'll be 2 videos out for this. I don't expect you to all watch them all together on the same day, but there will be a slow stitch video tomorrow where we're going to make a folksy heart. Yeah, that will build up to the one the week after, which will be like a folksy wreath. Yeah. Alright then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.